Happy birthday, Finn! So, greetings, Left of Awesome. I am Garden of Eros, or Kieran Shelovec. And yes, Garden of Eros is a reference to that Oscar Wilde poem of the same name. And yes, Oscar Wilde was a socialist. I am not a socialist. I am, in fact, a classical liberal, in the sense of both economic freedom and social freedom, and the government's only duty is to protect the rights of the people, which are to life, liberty, and estate, all known as property. I am against any form of government social control and against taxation and other such forms of economic control. The only things government has any duty in is when someone is violating the natural rights of another, type of thing. I guess that's me in a nutshell. If I do things with my hands a lot, it's because I am an ASL student, and that's just sort of something I've started doing. Oh, ASL, American Sign Language. It's just something I've sort of started doing a lot recently. I go to a Montessori school. Montessori was Maria Montessori. She revolutionized education around 100 years ago. Very pro-peace. She wanted to achieve world peace through education, especially of children, and raising children in a culture of peace, and, problem-solving sorts of things. It's a very, very cool thing. Also, she's very big on, working with the individual and all those sorts of things. I am on the debate team. I am part of the philosophy club, and I'm part of the Logos club. Logos is our logic club. We essentially sit around and do Euclidean propositions after school, and it's great fun. Actually, today in math we discussed conic segments, and I will hopefully go into a very brief tangent to try to explain. So a point is that which has no part, and so if you have a point and you have a circle, and they're on two separate planes, and then you have a line going from the point to the circumference of a circle, and then you have and the line, of course, is never ending. So you have a line going from the point to the circumference of a circle, then you rotate the line around the circumference of the circle, you end up with a cone. A cone is a solid. It has a length, width, and depth. And a point is that which has no part, so your cone has to go from a circle and end into nothing, since a point has absolutely no part and no extremities. Most people tend to think of points as circles, and that's not correct. So, it's crazy, because your cone has to end in absolute nothingness, and but to have that, then in that point of nothingness, you have to have something surrounding the nothingness. But then it has part. Then your point, because a point can't be divided. So if you have an absence of material right there, then you can easily divide that into 2 segments and 4 segments and so on and so forth. So cones are crazy. Anything involving points is absolutely crazy. But anyway, I digress. I'm very into puppetry and music and such. I'm an environmentalist, though in the Thoreau sense of environmentalism, meaning I'm against environmental legislation and all sorts of things. Henry David Thoreau was an individualist anarchist type of fellow. He was great. He was very against government, and he was a tax resistor. Actually, the Thoreau Institute is actually a really, really cool organization, because they do all sorts of environmental things, but they do it without any form of government coercion, and they, attack all the government environmental programs and show why they harm all sorts of things, and they do very little good. And I am a very big proponent of free trade and human interaction without any form of governmental coercion, which I guess might put me at odds with some of the people on this channel. I guess as a question for you all, I would like you to please define your political viewpoints. That'd be nice. Especially if we have any anarcho-communists, because I've so many questions about how anarcho-communism works. So, please explain, correct me if I'm wrong. That is all I have to say for now. Sorry, this was less politics-oriented and more just an introduction to myself. So, yes, very quickly. So, hopefully, I will continue to be your Tuesday. Generally, I go to this event on Tuesdays called the Dynamis Roundtable. The members of the book club are called the Knights of the Dynamis Roundtable, and we read economic literature. And so currently we are reading Liberalism by Ludwig von Mises, and it's absolutely fantastic. And unfortunately, I don't get to go regularly, and I'm a relatively new member of the book club, but that's generally how I spend my Tuesday nights, and then I have to come home and do loads of homework. Luckily, this is finals week, so I don't have very much homework, and I only have one final, which is nice. But yeah, hopefully I can continue to be Tuesday. If anybody's willing to switch, that'd be nice. I'd like to be something perhaps after Tuesday, so then I can always, if I'm at it if I don't have anything to talk about, then I can always just bring up some Mises, because he's always great fun. And that is all.